What's going on, guys? We're going to talk about the Toshi chart. There's a lot of pain, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of panicked and worried people out there in the crypto space. It's not just Toshi. So before you start searching around online as, why is Toshi down? Why is this? Why is that? Oh, it's one big seller that's liquidating their position. Guys, look around at the entire market. You have Sol that is down under 200. You have Bitcoin underneath 100,000. I think as low as I seen it, 97, 96-ish $1,000. Ethereum under 3,000, as well as every single other alt in meme coin, unless it's some random pump and dump that is just getting liquidity driven into it for, the rug pull. Everything is down. Okay. And there's multiple reasons, and I'm going to make different videos. So if you guys want to kind of know my thoughts on why the market is pulling back, definitely subscribe, because I'm going to kind of break down some different things. But this video is going to be to talk about Toshi. So from all-time highs, we are down pretty much to where we started. Okay. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? In my opinion, it is probably the best time between now and when this selling stops, which I'm thinking could be within inside of a week. Okay. There's a couple of areas that I want to kind of focus on. Again, I've been trying to give some areas of support. Those areas of supports have been getting washed out. But the beautiful thing about technical analysis, you can always find key areas of support. Now, I've got my floor sitting way down here to before even the rumors and news of the Toshi Coinbase listing. Okay. So if we were to look at that absolute floor, we were trading at 1, 2 in between that range. This is where we got listed on Coinbase, okay, on the 23rd of January. So on the 23rd of January, you can see the big spike, a little bit of a pullback, back test that, and then just absolutely exploded, right? Now, all of this is when we had the overall rumor of Toshi might be coming to Coinbase, right? So you can kind of see that the ramp up started here in the day leading into the 2 days, the week leading into the actual official listing. And then once it got listed, it just absolutely exploded. So if you see kind of now where we're pulling back to, we're almost pulling back to that range when we started the explosion. Now, if and when the bull run, and I believe, yes, there is going to be a bull run in 2025 in crypto and alts across the board, well, where do you think that your whales, where do you think that your bigger players are going to want to be positioned, right? Are they going to want to be positioned up here? Are they going to want to be positioned up here? Especially if Toshi has the capacity to running over $1 billion market cap, which currently we're trading right now at 281. I believe anything around 300 is going to be a great buy, okay? Because it's an easy 3 to 5x from here. But in order to obtain that 3 to 5x, you can't be with an average cost if you're a whale of 17 or price of 18 or 20 or the highs that we hit here of 23, 24, right? You need a better price. So while the whole market is selling off, you're going to start to see accumulation in bigger sized accounts, bigger wallets that are going to be coming in buying at these levels. Now, truthfully speaking, I can see this coming down to 4 or 5. Okay. Truthfully speaking, I can see it come down to 4 or 5. I just made another dollar cost average here in the 6s as well as the 7s. This whole purple zone is definitely my buy zone. I'm going to kind of wait. I want to see, do we get down into the 5s? If we do get down into the 5s, I'll have a conversation with myself in the mirror. Do I want to take another stab at the 5s? Or do I want to see by a long shot that it gets down into 4? Okay. If it gets down into 4, that's 100%. I will be adding the rest of my position at 4. Okay. So slowly kind of dollar cost averaging into this, acquiring more tokens, because like I'm saying, what I'm expecting, even if we come into this range, okay, and you have to believe that if you do run into a bull cycle anytime in 2025, even if you don't take out the highs, which I don't think is going to happen, I think we're going to take out highs 100%. But even if you come close and you just test the highs and it creates some type of, double top, right, where it does something like this and then kind of comes back down, this double top is still from right here going to be about a 3 to 5x, okay, depending on where this high wants to go. So that's almost a given, right? It's almost a given. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, okay? Now, the bigger question is kind of come in, where potentially can this go, right? So 3 to 5x is there. You know, if it surpasses the 1 billion, maybe 1.5, 2 billion, now you're talking anywhere between a 5 to 7x from where we're at now. You know, you start getting into 3 billion market cap, 4, 5 billion market cap, which again, if you get into some type of super cycle, my realistic expectations is somewhere between 3 and 5. Okay. And if it does get somewhere between 3 and 5 on this run, you can be looking at maybe a 10 to 12, 10 to 15x from where we're at right now. Okay. So, which is really, really good money, right? So example, if you have $1,000 in, you might be looking at a 10,000 out, right? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't want to put any hard dollar amounts on it, right? Because it definitely doesn't have to. It definitely can just stay down here. Definitely the market, could choose not to have a bull run. Again, it's all what you believe, and it's all how you're kind of analyzing what's going on right now. But what you're going to start to see a lot more of the longer the entire market pulls back is you're going to see more fear come into the markets. And even with this weekend being a lot of red across the board, I'm seeing fear. I'm seeing some panic. I'm seeing a little bit of frustration. I'm not seeing enough, right? Like, I want to see that people are throwing in the towel, right? Like, when you see people are saying, well, I'm not going to invest this year, I'll come back next year. Or, well, I lost my entire account, crypto's not for me. That's what I want to see. Like, I want to see people start talking like that, because then that's when the bottom's going to be in, right? And truthfully speaking, I mean, right now we know why the market is pulling back. It's the Trump and tariff wars going on between Mexico, Canada, United States, and everywhere else, right? Canada came out and said they're going to put a 25% tariff tax on the United States. Mexico's saying they're going to back Canada with that and do the same thing south of the border. Fine. Right? They can let them fight it out, let the headlines scare and shake everyone out. But one thing that I want to kind of keep, on everyone's mind is that Trump and BlackRock and bigger major players are still continuing to dump money into Ethereum, Bitcoin, and all of the other big ones. Okay? Why would they be dumping more money in if this is the top? It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Okay? It doesn't make no sense. And to the average retail consumer, this is what you call the old retail rinse. Because what most people are going to think of is, if they're putting so much money in and this is not the top, why is it going down? Why are we continuing to go down? If they're putting money in, why isn't it going up? Because when they start to control more of the market share, it's easy to kind of slowly drip sell positions to bring price down, forcing retailers and smaller investors out of their positions to accumulate more assets at lower prices. Okay. This is just marketplace 101. Okay. Supply and demand. And the more supply that they can control, the more they can move around these prices, and the faster they can sell when we do go into that bull super cycle, right? Quicker. Versus the average person right now, who, let's say, even in a token like Toshi, let's say your average price is somewhere in this range and you're feeling a lot of pain, right? And you're getting out of your position, and then it starts to creep back up and it starts to go up and it gets back to your original position. You're going to be telling yourself, well, I was already here, I don't want to invest. And then you miss the boat, and then it goes up a little bit more, and then it's towards all-time highs, and you're like, okay, well, maybe we are going to have a bull cycle, and you start buying in up here, and then we do break all-time highs, and it's over $1 billion market cap, and then the market is exploding across the board. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all of the big names, all of the meme coins, and everything's kind of exploding, and you're saying, okay, man, this is it. This is the year that I'm going to make, a bunch of money and retire. And next thing you know, price dips a little bit, and you're like, great, let's buy a little bit on the dip, because I remember last time, I should have bought the dip, and I didn't. And next thing you know, it went back up. So you buy a little bit more, and then it pulls back, you know, to all-time highs, and you buy a little bit more. And then it kind of just keeps pulling back and it just stays, right? And now you're at a loss because you're basically getting sold into from everyone that's been accumulating on this run down. Okay. For big whales, for big money, there is no incentive to be buying and holding up here. There's no incentive. You can almost think about this as testing the market, right? Think about this run when we got listed on Coinbase. Think about it in a theory of they're testing the market. Is there value? Is there buyers? There was a hell of a lot of people that were buying it at 500 million market cap, 600 million market cap, 700 million market cap, 800 million market cap, 900 almost, and people are flooding into this. That was a successful test of market sentiment. Because if you have people wanting to like FOMO into this at 7, 8, 900 million market cap, well, guess what? The next time we're up here in this area, what do you think the sentiment's going to be? Because they missed out and didn't load down here, they didn't hold their positions. Now they're going to feel double inclined to buy because they're not going to miss it, which is just creating more liquidity to get sold into when we put in the new high. Does that make sense? So as hard as it is, as tough as it is, as long as it may take, if you truly believe in the project, and it doesn't have to be just Toshi, guys. It can be any crypto, okay? Unless it's like some, you know, pump fund, pump and dump listing. If it's on a major exchange, let's just put it that, okay? You can put a little bit of trust in it. Now, am I going to say that every single name is going to go back to where it was trading? No, of course not, right? Because there's so many different cryptos, there's so many different coins, there's not just enough money to go around, right? But you have to see the ones that where market sentiment was tested and where there was opportunity to make money. And once this was tested once, it's only a given that once it starts to come back and the market sentiment starts getting tested again and it starts to heat up a little bit more people are going to continue to flood in at these prices because they missed this move, right? So let's just talk about where I think price can go for this week, right? We'll have to see how the regular US markets open up with the stock market. I'm expecting when the futures markets open up today, a little bit later, that there's going to be a nice hefty little gap down there. And until the tariff wars kind of subside a little bit, you're going to see some pullbacks across not just crypto markets, but the stock market as well, while they get and build and buy into those lower prices. I've got support here at around 5, 5.5, and I've got support at 4, 4.5. Okay, these are the two next loading zones for me. If Toshi is to break down below 4, 4.5, then you're going to really be looking at the floor. And where I'm getting this floor from is all the way back here, right? All the way back here and all the way back here when the coin and the token wasn't really doing anything. Okay, so this is our floor. Our floor is down here at a 1, 2. Right? That's the floor. That's the floor. You can't sell all the way down into the floor or else the damn thing would just go to 0, right? Now, it's not going to go to 0, okay? So this is our floor, right? But we have these little ceilings here where we're getting pretty close to them, right? If you look at where we got listed on Coinbase is right in here. I kind of drew this line here so I can show you guys that candle. This is a specific candle when we got listed on Coinbase. Pretty much there now. Okay, so if you get a slight dip back to where we were pre-Coinbase listing for a whale, that's a perfect opportunity to get in because now you are controlling the new floor. You are controlling where all future retail and normies are going to be buying in. They will be buying in on top of you, which for when you are ready to sell, you have plenty of buyers to sell to, okay? So when you're a whale and you're in way up here, it's kind of hard, right, to have people to sell into when you're in so high. You would need the price to continue to double, triple, quadruple in order for you to make money. But way down here, and especially if they can get it below that Coinbase listing floor, now they control the marketplace and they control the floor. So you have to actually think like a whale. You have to think like an institution. You have to think like a bank even though you're not operating with the same kind of capital as them. But conduct your business the same way. This is a very cutthroat business, right? And if you are not cutthroat and not ruthless and not a savage with your money in terms of taking profits, in terms of buying when there's blood, in terms of being absolutely stern and having non-negotiables when it comes to playing this game, you are going to get absolutely steamrolled. Okay? For everyone who bought up here, that's it. You have capitulated. You've self-destructed at this point in time because you're feeling emotion-wise that that's it. You bought into something that was good because it was on Coinbase, because Trump is in office, because the market's supposed to go up, because you heard that there's a bull run. And you've just capitulated and burned yourself out before it's actually started. Like, this was not the start of the bull run. This was the test of market sentiment, so whales and bigger players can see what the marketplace is going to be like when they bring it up, okay, on their terms. Not when retail made some cash, okay? Not when your average guy in the mom's basement made a little money. No, you're irrelevant. It's what can the bigger players do down in this range? How can they make their money on these people? Because they've seen that these people are suckers once, right? And even though there's a lot of retail traders who made a lot of money in this time, a lot, these bigger whales and bigger fish and people who are actually holding are going to make so much more money when we actually run these highs and we're trading up here. Make sense? So from here, you are looking at least a 3 to 5x. Okay, at least a 3 to 5x. So again, break the numbers down however you choose. If you're a very small fish and a guppy and you've got $100 in this, you might walk away with this $500, right? There's no bank in America that you can hand them $100 and within 1 year's time they hand you back $500 profit. No bank in America. Okay, think about it that way. Also, you're $1,000 in, you might be walking away with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You're $10,000 in, you might be walking away $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. That's if we just kind of run these highs. Again, I don't want to get into the narrative of we're going to, chase 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion. Sure. I mean, you start getting into that amount of market cap, you're talking about, 20, 30x, right? Now, I don't even want to discuss that because I think that kind of outlook gives people a bad representation of what can happen. You play the game with where we're at here right now. You play the game for a 3 to 5x, just at least testing these highs, which is going to be about 3x. And if we run these highs, maybe 4 to 5x. Okay, you play the game that way. You take some cash. When we get over $1 billion, $1.5 billion, $2 billion, you take some cash and you leave some runners. So if the market does want to continue to run all until late 2025 and it decides to pay you 10x, you still had a little bit of piece on the table, right? 10x over this. That's how you play it. So your levels here, I'll just give you some definite levels of support and resistance. And this is very common knowledge, very basic technical analysis. We have support sitting at around 5.7, okay? 0.0057, we got support there. We got a little bit of support at 0.0048, 4.5. If you do break down below that, again, I mean, I don't think that it's going to go below 4, but anything's possible. It could be a very quick one, 3, okay? But resistance is going to be right here at around 9. You have resistance at 11, resistance at 14, resistance at 17, resistance at 22. Those are all price targets as well, by the way, guys. These are also adding spots on the way up, but you don't want to add at the top, okay? You don't want to add at the top. You want to do your ads here, and you want to just sit through the bullshit until we start to make way and show that this downtrend is broken. But again, it's not just Toshi, so don't get all crazy. It's not one seller who's shaking you out of your position. It's a multiple of things that are going on across the markets altogether. and a little change in power right now. The retailers had their power, right? You guys had your power. You had your power to be in Toshi from way back here. This was your power. This was your proven track record. This was your test of market sentiment. This is when you should have made a lot of money. Okay. Now that we're back here, once you made all of this money, you take your original investment from way back here and you put it back in over here for the next run. Okay. Now this change in power is going to go to whales and bigger institutional players who are going to buy this up here and run these highs and sell into everyone who bought here who felt like they missed out, or every nanny, Uber driver, teacher, school bus driver that is barely hearing about Toshi 2-3 months down the road when we're trading at all-time highs and they're seeing it all over their timelines and they're hearing the kids at school talk about it. They'll be buying in way up here. And guess what? Because this is a cutthroat and ruthless business, you will be selling into those people and they will learn to not buy at all-time highs. They will learn on the next cycle that you're buying all the way down. I hope that makes sense. Stay safe, guys. Stay relaxed. Don't check your P&Ls right now. Just let the markets do what they need to do and be on the right side of the trade. I'll see all of you guys in the next one.